Welcome back, all my beautiful Irish patriots and people that love Ireland. Okay, so today we have an amazing couple of videos. Stay tuned. Okay, this one is basically Errol Musk, who is Elon Musk's dad, okay, his father, talking to the description here says lefty Newstalk presenter Kieran Cuddihy, or however you say his name, Cuddy, whatever, however you say his stupid ass last name. But guys, this one is gonna be huge. So apparently they get into it, guys. They get fighting. Obviously, there are differences in politics here. I think that Kieran Cuddihy is an absolute just government shill, just completely for the government. But we're about to get into it, man. So make sure to like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Let's hear what he has to say. First of all, about hand holders. So I've just been trying to dig up some weird videos about this dude. Well, guess what? I found some good ones. Bro, this dude is like straight up just out of a movie. I mean, he is just told script by script what to say. I mean, government mouthpiece. I don't know how you live with yourself. Somebody said in my comments that he was making €7,000 a day. And I said, well, I'd rather be at home chilling than on my yacht. If I can't even live with myself, I'd rather be on the little dinghy than on a yacht like he is, guys. I'm just putting that out there, and we're gonna get to that yacht some days, hopefully. But for now, man, I just can't believe these government shills, man. Like, how can you sell out your country this bad? Bro, this guy talks in riddles. Wait till you hear this one.
Apparently, David and Victoria Beckham were caught kissing recently in a restaurant. They were out for dinner in London for the Kent and Kerwin fashion label. And it was the first time since 2012 they've been seen kissing in public. And I was wondering why I was beginning to like them more and more. And it was because of their lack of PDAs. I am anti-PDA. And
for those who don't know what PDA is, public display of affection. So he doesn't like people kissing in public. But this guy is pro, let's just say, these big agendas. Very strange.
David Beckham and Victoria have gone down in my estimation since last week. Since I caught them in public, yeah.
Are you serious?
Just keep it behind closed doors.
See, when women hear this, guys, it's just like, what the hell? I didn't even understand as a guy. I was like, I didn't even know what the hell he's talking about.
I cannot abide public displays of affection. I don't understand that.
Is there an extent to which you don't like the public displays of affection, or is it just anything at all? Like, where are you in hand holding? Or?
Just anything tactile, any physical contact with another person.
Dude, this guy wasn't hugged as a kid. I mean, this guy obviously, with the dead eyes, you can see it on him. Super messed up.
Just ignore
beyond
them,
a formal handshake. Yeah, no, you can talk to them all right, but as long as you're just not touching each other. I tell you what I hate: hand holders. You mentioned it. I hate hand holders. They amble along. They're so slow. I'm getting myself angry talking about it. I'm going to shove them in front of a bus. The next hand holders are in front of me.
This guy wants to kill people if you hold hands. I mean, this is what we're dealing with, guys. This is what we're dealing with. And this guy is this guy is one of the biggest news presenters in the country, in Ireland. He's the biggest news presenter in the whole country.
I'm getting myself angry talking about it. I'm going to shove them in front of a bus. The next
He wants to shove people in front of a bus and kill people if they hold hands and are affectionate with each other. Bro, I'm going to hold my girl's hand a lot more.
Holders in front of me, I'm shoving in front of a bus. They're just so slow. They shouldn't be doing it. And it is just the height of self-indulgence. Oh, look at us, we're so in love. People should just do what I do with my wife, which is walk about 3 or 4 metres in front of her and kind of looking back saying, come on now. That's the kind of gentlemanly thing to do, isn't it?
Over here. This is just incredible. Like,
this guy, let's be honest, guys, he don't get no bitches.
No, come on. I think people really secretly agree with me, and I bet you a lot of hand holders agree with me too.
Yeah, this is what we're dealing with, guys. I mean, really weird. Can't even kiss your girl in public. Can't kiss your, nothing. I mean, I don't agree with kissing people in public. Trying to flip and eat their face type of thing. But a little peck on the cheek. I mean, this guy is a total weirdo, bro. I don't know what government, platform is paying this guy, but just he wants to murder people if you hold hands. If you touch another person, a woman, that's your girlfriend, he wants to murder you. I mean, just completely off the flipping rocker. Anyways, we're going to get on to this one, guys. This is Errol Musk debating with him. I haven't watched it yet. Hopefully you all enjoy that. Let's go.
Joe, Errol Musk. Errol is the father of Elon Musk, of course. Errol, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. And you?
I'm not too bad. Listen, thank you very much for asking. Given that your son is kind of ubiquitous all over the world in terms of news headlines and everything at the moment, and hands on the levers of power in the United States, are you proud of him?
Well, I'm very pleased with his progress. I mean, I was proud of him when he was born, So, I mean, you don't suddenly become proud of your child,
How do you feel?
That was a bit of an odd, weird question. Are you proud of him? You know what I mean? Like, kind of like a spiteful question, It's a bit weird,
When you
man.
kind of, you see him kind of shoulder to shoulder with Donald Trump, and like I say, so close to the decision making that impacts so many people around the world.
Well, it's great.
In a positive way?
I mean, he's been doing it for a long time. I was doing it before him in this country, rather a little smaller, but so we have been doing this for quite a long time. It's not a sudden shift of things, but I mean, he's really broken the mold a bit,
Do you see any of yourself in Elon?
Yes, he's very similar to me, and people point that out to me all the time, that we are quite similar, in behavior, and they tell me I even look the same, we look similar or something like that.
How do you cope with some of the more negative commentary then around him?
The negative commentary now only coming from people like Kieran Cuddihy, or however you say his name, and a lot of people think that he's giving the voice back to the voiceless of just the regular people on X, previously known as Twitter.
Elon himself, he's one of those people who he just bounces off him, Look, I mean, if somebody criticizes you and it's true, then obviously then you might feel something. But if it's nonsense, why would it bother you, I mean, take the sports guys, they go onto the field and they get ripped this way and that. But if it's not true, they just let it bounce, what the hell?
That's true, the Springboks, okay? I love South Africans, but South Africans are very down-to-earth people, very honest people, okay? They'll tell you what they think. South Africans, very, very honest people. Very, just to your face, guys. No bullshit, no talking behind your back bullshit, snaky shit that you get from a lot of, people like Kieran Cuddihy, okay? Very down-to-earth people.
No, just let it bounce.
But that's easy kind of maybe for him to do or for individuals. But as a parent, it must be difficult, or I imagine it would be, to see some of the kind of vitriol directed at him.
Occasionally I see stuff that makes me want to get on a plane and find these people, teach them a lesson. Irish style,
What?
Dude, he has the exact same laugh as Elon Musk as well. That's funny. But yeah, man, I mean, he wants to protect his son.
Do you make of his intervention in the politics of other countries? Of, say, Germany, where he's talking about the AfD alternative for Deutschland being the only kind of solution to the problems they have, or his pretty serious kind of intervention in terms of UK politics in recent times?
Well, Elon's investment in these countries like Germany, for example, makes him, a reason why would he not intervene on the basis of the extent of his investment in these countries. So that alone is a reason. However, these countries have had no problem interfering in other people's politics in other countries themselves. So I think it's a kind of sort of free-for-all at the moment. I mean, at the moment he's a private citizen, but shortly he will be, of course, hopefully he'll be a cabinet minister, in which case he has to okay the things for the rest of the cabinet. But for the meantime, I mean, he's a free person. Many people, thousands of people are tweeting and Xing the same stuff, that he's...
Yeah, it's true, guys. But he gets a lot of support, Elon Musk. Of course, he's in the Trump administration where he basically is part of the DOGE, Department of Government Efficiency. And that will definitely help the US a lot. Same way he cleaned out Twitter, okay? He cleaned out 90% of people that used to work at Twitter. Most people were sitting on bean bags and just drinking water, doing bullshit. They weren't working at all. He said, I'm going to really make the country efficient the same way I made Twitter efficient. It's a pretty good idea.
Just that he's kind of well known, that's all.
It's more than that, though. I mean, not to kind of quote Spider-Man or whoever said it in a Spider-Man movie about power and responsibility, but, he has a degree of power because of the platforms he owns and the reach he has. And when he tweets or retweets certain things, it's different from another private citizen, surely.
Well, yes, I suppose the same could be said about, people like Soros and, there are people who have more sway in the things that they say. And, it's not
True.
always perhaps wise, but I don't know. I mean, he's a citizen of the world. Today we have a world which is tied together by social media. So it's not as though you're stuck in your little provincial spot anymore. You can actually make comments about what you see elsewhere.
That's true. He shouldn't be just resided to South Africa for the rest of his life just because he was born there and is from there. Okay, he obviously can make comments about America, like Europe, Germany. I mean, he can kind of do what he wants, because I mean, just because people don't agree with you politically doesn't mean that they don't have the right to do that.
As far as
when Kieran Cuddihy says something like he has a degree of responsibility, he's saying that because he doesn't like Elon Musk's politics. And just because you don't like someone's politics doesn't mean that you are not allowed to have a say in things. And this is the thing. I see a lot of people, giving out about, of course, Zuckerberg's now freedom of speech that he's trying to bring to Facebook. Like, why would you be giving out about that? That's obviously a good thing. Any sort of freedom of speech that you give to the people is better than, just having it resided to the big dogs. You want more of a free playground rather than a big monopoly at the top shitting on all the people at the bottom, okay, like the mainstream news has been doing for so many years.
Europe is concerned, I mean, he does have a massive investment in Germany, so therefore he has a reason to say something. The other thing is the UK, we are English-speaking people. We all trace our roots back to the UK. Half my family, half his family lives in the UK. I mean, we're not like, we may have passports that aren't British, but that's only just because of circumstance. We are equally able to obtain British passports if we wanted. Passports are just for travel. Right now, he's one of the, people from the English world that has moved out into the world. And when we out in the world, had trouble in the past in our different places, South Africa, Australia, New Zealand, wherever, and we had any problem, we always had to turn to England to come and help us. Now it's perhaps our turn to look at England and see whether we can help back, when they have terrible problems.
England is like almost irreversible. The problems they have is just a complete shit show. There's no, people that are getting convicted of crimes there, stabbings and stuff. There's no crime sentences. There's no catching of any criminals. It's just a complete free-for-all. You stab somebody, that's it. Like, you're perfectly free to go. They're letting out convicted, sex offenders to kind of make room for people that comment stuff on social media. It's just real shit show. I don't really know who the hell is even leading that country. It seems like the leadership is up in the air. It feels like it could go either way, like, super left wing, super right. It doesn't even feel like it's a proper country with like a solid base like the US feels like, almost.
That they've got at the moment in England.
Yeah, but I mean, how is he or anybody else helping England by talking about kind of, Tommy Robinson deserving freedom for speaking his mind, which is kind of patent nonsense?
Well, yes, that was my point. I was the one who raised that. Tommy Robinson is a political prisoner. There's no doubt of that under any definition that you want to make it. He's a political prisoner.
How?
So, yes, he's a political prisoner.
No, how?
And so, well, he's pointing out what's going wrong in the UK. The UK, like Ireland, I think, is doing the same, Germany and so on.
No, but sorry, but that's not why he's in prison. Let's be clear about that. He's in prison for
contempt.
contempt.
A court hearing and sentencing to 18 months in solitary confinement. That's called insane. Okay? That's madness. That's what you do in the gulags of Soviet Russia.
Oh, damn. So, yeah, Tommy Robinson's an interesting one because obviously, I don't agree with what the hell he's saying for the most part. Okay, he was bringing up some sort of like abuse that was happening though, and obviously people should be in jail. I mean, that is a police matter. Like the British police should definitely be getting on these cases, definitely, guys. But what he says against anti-Muslim people, absolutely, I don't agree with any of that stuff. I actually love the Middle East a bit. The places are beautiful. Dubai, these places are like some of the best places in the world. The management of the UK is what's running it into the shithole, guys. Understand that. Understand that the management of the UK is what's causing it to be a shithole. Okay, you can have different people, okay, to an extent, okay? Can't have a free-for-all, like I said, but the management of the UK is just a complete shambles. Same with Ireland, absolute shithole. You have people like Kieran Cuddihy basically giving their 2 cents, you know, on the Newstalk every day. Paid shill. This guy is 100% paid shill, bro. Like, you just know the people supplying him with the notes in the morning are like just shit on the Irish people. Does anyone know actually? Does Kieran Cuddihy, like, is he a real even guy? Does he have any like people that he knows outside of his work? Like, I feel like a lot of these people are just like, they drive to work, then they go to their work, and then they drive home quickly, so they're not like, you know, accosted by the public. You know, I've never seen any videos of any of these people ever, you know, nobody ever accosts, nobody ever says, even talks to them. The guy is not walking around the street. Very strange, guys. These are very strange individuals, man, that are in Dublin. I've noticed that. Nobody knows where any of these people are. You know, they're in Dublin one day, they might be in the UK, they're flying them around because, you know, they're just saying crazy shit. They're like hiding behind security in their office. Like, it's dude, Dublin is shithole.
No, this is England. So, no, I must put you right there. And so he is a political prisoner. And
no, he's not. I'm sorry. And you can say it as many times as you want. It doesn't mean it's true. He's in prison for contempt of court. It's an 18-month sentence.
Nonsense.
Because...
Nonsense.
That is not nonsense. You saying nonsense doesn't make it true. It is a statement of fact to say he is in prison for contempt of court.
They use that as an excuse. You know, for God's sake, man. They use it as an excuse. That's rubbish.
So sorry, you know? let me put it this way. Okay, he was handed. The High Court ruled in 2021.
I'll be honest with you guys. I don't know too much about Tommy Robinson. I don't really look into that stuff because I don't agree with his sort of baseline opinion. So I don't really look into them anymore. But
that he had defamed an individual, ordered him to pay, I think it was about 125,000 euro, about 100,000 pounds sterling in damages. He was handed an injunction which prevented him from repeating the claims, the libelous claims. If he had not repeated...
Yeah, so the reason, because he said, I'm going to go to jail for this movie. He put out this movie about grooming and stuff in the UK. My friend was telling me yesterday about like grooming and something like that. So then he went to jail based off that. So based off a movie that he released. But all in all, if there's any grooming and crazy shit, like, shouldn't the police be handling this? I don't know what the hell. Is the UK just a free-for-all? Bro, the UK is... Oh, man.
Those libelous claims, he would not be in prison. He repeated them and he was in contempt of court. He was in breach of that injunction.
Yes, he's what you call a man with some strength. So he's not Nigel Farage, the man who talks between two cigarettes. No.
But the High Court of the United Kingdom, an independent court, found those claims libelous. The things he was saying, and they said, listen, we've found that we've deemed these to be libelous, you've got to pay damages, and what's more, because they're libelous, you can't keep saying them. And he went out and he said them again, and therefore he's in contempt of court. The same rules would apply to me or you.
Yes. Well, you know, if you see what the British courts have been doing by sentencing people old men who complained in front of police lines, and they're sentencing them to 18 or 24 months in prison for inciting a riot, then you know that the British courts are compromised.
I never got the whole thing where if some guy, you know, some random fat old man, you know, who just drinks too much in the UK, let's say he's up in Scotland or whatever, you know, just some random guy, maybe he's like the principal of a school. I never got this sort of situation where, or let's say some guy in Dublin, because there was Dublin riots. I never got why, you know, he would say something, just random fat old 65-year-old man, random guy just sitting there, nobody cares who he is. He says something on Twitter and then he goes to jail for it. I feel like I'm not listening to anyone. If you guys are manipulated by propaganda that individuals say on the internet, I mean, you deserve to be like, I don't know, like, you shouldn't be listening to just random people on the internet. Like, that just seems insane to me. You know what I mean? Maybe if Elon Musk says it or these massive people say it, of course you can understand maybe to a degree. But even if one of these internet gurus tells me to go jump off a cliff, I'm just not going to jump off a cliff. And if I jump off a cliff, that's on me, guys. That's my personal responsibility not to listen to lunatics on the internet. You know, to me, it just seems crazy that there's no self-accountability.
No longer the British courts. They are something else now. They are ruled by Davos. Do you understand? Your country, England, Germany, that your so-called leaders are taking their instructions from Davos.
Oh, Lord.
Well, you don't really believe that, do you?
Oh, Kieran Cuddihy. Oh, you don't really believe that, do you? Or you don't believe that, like, this is just the arguments that are just fictitious, guys. It's not even an argument. It's like the sort of Piers Morgan argument. Whenever somebody brings facts to Piers Morgan about, you know, certain war crimes, he says, you know, sure, like, he says, oh, come off it, and he just starts speaking like this sort of, oh, come off it, like he's holier than thou. Like, dude, like, look into it. You know what I mean?
England, Germany, that your so-called leaders are taking their instructions from Davos.
Errol, you don't really believe that, do you? Do you think judges in this country take instructions from Davos?
I would say they take instructions from your political leaders, and they are told you either do this or we'll make things difficult for you.
How do they communicate those messages? How do they communicate? How does a political leader communicate to a judge of the Supreme Court or the High Court in Ireland what they should do? Is it email, phone, WhatsApp? They pick up the phone. They phone them.
They pick up the phone.
They pick up the blower. Hi, lads. Stop all that nonsense up there in Dublin, will you? Go on then.
They pick up.
That's a joke, but they kind of do that. Like, they actually do that shit in Dublin. Like, guys, let's just say there's strings as puppets. Oh my days. You know, Kieran Cuddihy is just bought and paid for, lads. Like, if you don't see that, man, oh my god, how do people listen to Newstalk? Like, it is just bought and paid for. I know, like, every news platform is kind of bought and paid for, but Jesus, like, why is nobody calling it out? Why am I the only person on YouTube that reacts to this stuff? Why am I the only person on YouTube that even talks about this stuff?
The phone.
Okay. Have you any evidence for that? I mean, have you heard these phone calls? Has anybody? It's a remarkable thing it's a remarkable revelation, is what I'm saying, kind of, to make from South Africa, that politicians in this country are picking up the phone and ringing judges at the Supreme Court and telling them what to do.
Well, you know, you can see from the results. So you can also see from many of your listeners who will tell you that I am 100% right.
That's evidence of nothing, Errol. I mean, that's anecdote is evidence.
No, that's the feeling that the people get from their gut, from their brain that God gave them.
But see, there's a responsibility, though. I mean, it's easy for people to kind of walk down the street and say that and think this is what's happening. Like, people who are policy makers, who I described Elon as being close to the levers of power, have a responsibility to do more than that, to just kind of to react the way their gut tells them. They've got to react based on evidence, and there's no evidence he does that. So yesterday, he, for example, to go back to kind of Ireland and the Irish judicial system, he retweeted a claim that Irish citizens get longer prison sentences than illegal immigrants, is how he described it. That's messed up. That's what Elon said. And what's messed up is that it's 100% inaccurate.
Well, if Elon said it, it's probably correct.
No, it's not. It's wrong. It's actually it's. I can tell you why it's wrong. He's the person he was retweeting, who's a well-known far-right agitator.
Oh, here we go. He's using the buzzwords, far-right agitator. Okay, here we go. Just know, like, that they're giving these buzzwords, guys. You know, far-right, this, ding, 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 ding. Let's just hit all these talking points when it's all bullshit. You know what I mean? And what did he say? Irish people receive harder sentences. We're going to look into that after, don't worry.
It's wrong. He's the person he was retweeting, who's a well-known far-right agitator, cited a single case from 20 years ago when a large study was carried out only 2 years ago that said there's no statistical difference in terms of sentencing between Irish citizens and foreign-born nationals, except when it comes to sexual offences. And when it comes to sexual offences, foreign-born nationals get much tougher prison sentences than Irish citizens.
What does foreign born mean? Like, in this country, in Ireland, for those who don't know, there's no such thing like foreign whatever. It's just foreign born, okay? So the way they judge if you're from Ireland or not is if you're foreign born. I'm foreign born. I wasn't even born here. I came here when I was like 6, you know, or whatever. So technically I'm foreign born, right? Like, but I'm Irish, like, so, like, the country is just absolutely screwed up, lads. This is just like a shit show, man. This is a shit show. So, okay, hold on, let's go back.
There's no difference, no statistical difference in terms of sentencing between Irish citizens and foreign-born nationals, except when it comes to sexual offences. And when it comes to sexual offences, foreign-born nationals get much tougher prison sentences than Irish citizens. So actually, not only was he wrong, it was the opposite of the truth.
So yeah, somebody said in the comments to this that Elon Musk was correct, but the study was from like 20 years ago. So it was like an outdated study. Okay, it was saying that Irish people get harsher sentences than people. So yeah. And then Kieran Cuddihy is saying for a fact, which we'll fact check that after. We'll fact check that after. Do they get harsher sentences? We will just bookmark that, lads, in the comments. Just bookmark that.
Well, you know, I would that's conceivable.
You know what? Let's just do it right now. Hold up a sec, lads. Go to Gronk. So this is X platform. So do Irish-born citizens? So what is it? Citizens get harsher sentences for crime than foreign born. I know I'm not spelling correct here, lads, but bear with me. X is good enough to pick it up for me. The question of whether or not Irish-born citizens receive harsher sentences for crime compared to foreign-born individuals involves various complexities. Okay, so research findings. Some studies suggest there are sentences disparaged between Irish and non-Irish nationals. For instance, a study by Dr. Avel Brandon and Dr. Michael O'Connell, contrary to popular belief, non-nationals often receive longer sentences than Irish nationals for certain crimes. So yeah, it's certain crimes. Specifically, the research indicated that non-Irish, so both is true. So it is true, but the other side is true as well, right? So they both get pretty harsh sentences, but longer sentences for different crimes. Because of course, you know, not every single crime would be sentenced the same way in the courts, right? Specifically, the research indicated that non-Irish nationals receive sentences on average 2.5 years longer for sexual offences and similar disparities for drug offences. This challenges the notion. So and then for just regular violent crime, I suppose, Irish people, you know, get harsher sentences for violent crime, stealing, right? The other crimes that I can think of, like petty crime. So yeah, so it's like both get harsher sentences for certain crimes. Okay. Will I fact check that, or will people give out to me in the comments? Yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm pretty correct on that one.
Well, I suppose what I would say to you, you know, as an Irishman, and I must tell you, some of my best friends I've ever had have been Dubliners, and so I just
shout out to Dublin. Errol Musk's best friends are from Dublin.
Say to you, you know, remember what a scoundrel Michael Collins was. They should have done him in right in the beginning, don't you think?
Ooh.
In what sense? You're going to have to expand on that.
Oh, you know what we're talking about, Kieran Cuddihy. And this is the whole argument. We'll talk about it after.
Well, okay, you remember Michael Collins? The Brits should have killed him right in the beginning, I think. Don't you think so? Well, the scoundrel, rat, the lies he told. Remember all the lies he told?
Ooh.
Oh, I see what you're getting at. That essentially, the things he might have said about the British or the British Empire pale in significance to kind of the Ireland that he helped to shape.
Basically, yeah, because you know Ireland actually was a very violent country. You know, during the 1916 uprising, the whole, you know, independence of Ireland, there was basically a civil war between the British and the Irish, and there was like a foreign war, a civil war. It was a crazy shit show. So if there wasn't people like Michael Collins, okay, to fight off the British, we'd still be speaking English. Haha, I'm just joking. We'd still be under British rule. You know what I mean? So yeah, I mean sometimes it is good to have you know, people that aren't just completely listening to the entire narrative, or else nothing would get done. This is a good one. I'd tell Kieran Cuddihy. I hope Kieran Cuddihy sees my videos and has me on Newstalk, because I would wash Kieran Cuddihy. He has no actual, you know, background in education. The only reason that the black slaves were freed in the US is because they went crazy. They were killing white people. They went crazy. Let's take it to a racial thing. And a lot of people don't want to hear that, guys. They don't want to hear, oh man, but that's literally what happened. You know, a lot of people, you know, violence is one of the only things that solves a lot of this crazy shit. Specifically black slaves, okay? I know a lot of people don't want to hear that, but that's what happened, guys. You know, they had an uprising. They said, fuck this shit. We ain't gonna be under your slavery bullshit no more. We want to be free people. And then there was massive violence. Plantations were going crazy. People dying. I'm not saying I agree with that, but you know, that's literally, you know, that's the same sort of idea. I think nowadays, you know, there's not so much atrocities in the Western world like that. In Ireland, we can have a peaceful vote process, but that did happen. You know, violent shit back in the day did happen so that, you know, the society could progress, right? So yeah, it's a whole thing, man. It's crazy. But yeah, obviously nowadays we vote on shit, okay? And voting as we should. You know, there shouldn't be much violence, you know, coup d'etats and crazy shit like that. That definitely shouldn't happen ever, okay? Ever. But back in the day it did, you know? So it's like crazy shit, you know what I mean? So he's kind of using that example of Michael Collins. Shout out to Michael Collins. The whole movie is on YouTube. If you guys actually just go to YouTube right here and you type in Michael Collins, the whole movie is free on YouTube now. So right here, guys, and I'd love to actually react to the whole movie with you as well. I love that. That's my favorite movie, man. Liam Neeson is like the best dude ever. He's a legend. But yeah, love that movie. That's my favorite movie. I watched that movie when I was like 12. Completely turned me into a patriot. If you watch that movie and don't understand how much of a legend he was, like, you know, you're dead inside. Let's get back to this one.
That's right. Now, today,
so Elon Musk can say awful things about people with dark skin in this country, and it doesn't matter if the ends justify the means.
That's a red herring. I don't think Elon Musk is going around calling people the N-word or insulting black people. I just don't think that's happening. If anything, he's giving voice to people, minorities. Absolute. Matter of fact, he's giving voice. He's giving voice to Play Spooky Tape. I will play. Hey, gliders! I will play Spooky Tape. When is it out? I have to, bro. I gotta react. But if anything, he's giving voice to people. You know what I mean? Like, so. That's facts, bro. I am playing Spooky Tape soon. Don't worry. I gotta play that.
No. I would say that the Irish and certainly the UK, the phone.
Is it out now? One second. I gotta check if that's out.
They phoned them.
They pick up the phone.
Okay. Have you any evidence to that? I mean, have you heard these phone calls? Has anybody? It's a remarkable thing it's a remarkable revelation is what I'm saying, kind of, to make from South Africa, that politicians in this country are picking up the phone and ringing judges at the Supreme Court and telling them what to do.
Well, I think that he created that narrative, but anyways, I think Kieran created that narrative.
You can see from the results. So you can also see from many of your listeners who will tell you that I am 100% right.
That's evidence of nothing, Errol. I mean, that's anecdote is evidence.
No, that's the feeling that the...
Bro, I just... Okay, guys, stay tuned. After this, I'm going to end this live stream. I'm going to come back, and I'm reacting to an album. Oh, shit, I didn't realize it was out yet. Oh, shit. Okay, we got to get through this quickly.
People get from their gut, from their brain that God gave them.
But, see, there's a responsibility, though. I mean, it's easy for people to kind of walk down the street and say that and think, this is what's happening. Like, people who are policymakers, who I described Elon as being close to the levers of power, have a responsibility to do more than that, to just kind of to react the way their gut tells them. They've got to react based on evidence, and there's no evidence he does that. So yesterday, for example, to go back to kind of Ireland and the Irish judicial system, he retweeted a claim that Irish citizens get longer prison sentences than illegal immigrants, is how he described it. That's messed up. That's what Elon said. And what's messed up is that it's 100% inaccurate.
Well, if Elon said it, it's probably correct.
No, it's not. It's wrong. It's actually, I'm going to tell you why.
Sorry, guys, we're going back here.
Well, this scoundrel, rat, the lies he told. Remember all
So back to Michael Collins, guys. Michael Collins.
the lies he told?
Oh, I see what you're getting at. That
I think I went back a little. My bad, guys. My bad.
And those people more, sort of, consideration than the actual British citizens. That's not a good idea. And there's a lot of evidence of that. And the people complain because they say, this is not working out. My little village isn't the same anymore. We now have a bigger mosque than we have a church. Now, it's reasonable to complain about something like that because we don't go to Muslim countries and start building up churches in their main road and all that sort of stuff. We don't get involved with them, so we don't do that. And it's reasonable to complain if you feel it's your quality of life is changing. And, I see little kids saying, I'm being forced to learn about Islam at school. I don't like it. British kids, I mean, it's weird.
Yeah, so obviously I don't agree with Errol Musk on this subject, guys, because I was actually born in the Middle East, okay? I moved to Ireland at 6, and it's not the country, it's not the religions that are bad. It's the government's running of the country. Like, England's a shithole, I think, because the government just sucks, and they just put everybody in jail for just speaking their mind. It's just bullshit. It's a bullshit country, guys. Kind of like Ireland is turning into, unfortunately. But the religions aren't bad in that way. Some people are extreme because they're nuts,
And what's the plan? And then, of course, none of the British population, appears to me, seems to approve of this. So this government has just taken upon itself to do all these things.
But yeah, obviously Britain is a Christian country like that. So.
And I mean, never mind all that. If you look at this gang rape gangs that they've had. I mean, if anything calls for an incredibly deep, serious inquiry, it's this. And yet they voted en masse against have an inquiry into it. I read some of the...
A national inquiry. Sorry, a national inquiry. They voted against a national inquiry. Keir Starmer and his government are absolutely supportive of inquiries. What they want are locally run inquiries. So you don't have one massive national UK inquiry. You've got inquiries independent of each other happening all over the country. So they're not, we just be clear on this. Yes. They're not opposed to inquiries. They're opposed to a single inquiry.
No. A national inquiry is required. Not some Mickey Mouse inquiry.
Well, sorry, according to you, but just to be clear.
Mickey Mouse. Dude, England, like I said, man, like, shouldn't the police be dealing with this? I don't understand.
They're not opposed to inquiries. They're opposed to a very specific suggestion of a type of inquiry. They're supportive of a different type of inquiry.
No, I don't buy that. And no. What you need here is every possible inquiry.
Why don't you buy that?
Well, first of all, it's going to bring this government down. The Labour government will collapse.
No. That's a separate answer. That's not the question I asked. Why don't you buy that?
Because it's a way of not having an inquiry.
But they have had inquiries. They've had inquiries. There have been inquiries locally. Local inquiries have already happened with regard to these so-called grooming gangs.
Yes, but the people many of the people that I'm not alone. Millions of people are saying they can't believe what they're reading. My son sent me.
They can't believe it because most of it's not true, Errol.
Let me tell you.
I can't believe it, but at least I know I know not to believe it. People can't believe it because it's untrue, most of it.
Yes, but the court transcripts of evidence are so unbelievable that I would not be able to share them with another man, never mind with a woman. I wouldn't be able to let a woman sit next to me while she reads those transcripts. I would be too embarrassed.
No, you're right, and I've read some of them. They're appalling. They are absolutely appalling. Nobody will disagree with you on that front. They just...
What's he talking about here? He's talking about these cases, these sort of abuse cases, like the church and stuff like that. Well, crazy shit that's going on.
They would... sick to the pit of your stomach is how you'd feel reading them. But again, I'm not sure. We're kind of talking in circles here a little bit because of what has happened and because of the horrific nature of these crimes. That's why the UK government are supportive of inquiries. But it's just not the national inquiry that the Tory party asked them to vote on yesterday.
Sorry, I got to laugh. I mean, that's really funny. No. You need every conceivable inquiry, every possible inquiry. You need people to come from, so that there's no conceivable possibility of bias. Of course, the information that's coming out now is that many people in high positions were party to these gang rape, providing of underage children. So this is a time bomb that's to go off there. This is something so incredible that it's going to change UK politics forever. But this Keir Starmer government will be gone by the end of February if this stuff is able to be brought forward.
Dan, that's actually this is the craziest video like I've ever watched. This is insane. Like, he's saying that the whole government of the UK is going to be gone because not inquiring into these sort of abuse cases. Man, England and its abuse is just insane, man. The government I'm talking about, I actually love British people like a lot actually, but the government, man, oh my days.
Do you think the government will collapse because if it's brought forward, Keir Starmer himself will be implicated in this?
Yes, he is implicated in it because he was the director of public prosecutions who shelved these investigations at the time.
Did he shelve them? He introduced a special prosecutor for exactly these types of cases. He changed the CPS guidance to encourage police to investigate these types of crimes, and he brought in court reforms that make the process less traumatic for victims.
I think you quite got it right. He was a prosecutor.
He also brought the very first prosecution of a so-called grooming gang.
Yes, I know that they were forced to bring some of the people to court, but there's more. There's so much more because the numbers involved are huge. In one particular small town, they have 1,400 girls that were treated like this. So just in one small town. And so they have one or two cases here and there. That's not enough. No. This was a concerted effort to do something really gross to Western society. It's even conceivable to imagine that it was planned. It wasn't just done, it was planned. It's so inconceivable.
But the allegation that Keir Starmer is implicated in this by some way of cover-up, I mean, is that, what are you basing that on, beyond your son's retweets?
My brain.
So nothing?
My brain.
But no actual evidence?
No, my brain tells me. So my brain's quite good.
I'm sure it is, but I mean, you have no evidence.
No. The brain tells you, You always know. Your brain tells you, So you're not... that's why you got a brain,
Damn, this is like bro science at its finest. But I mean the facts of those cases, I haven't looked into any of this shit. It's so depressing what the hell's happening over there, man. It's just like, bro, I have not got the time to be looking into that shit. It's horrendous.
I mean, actually,
Yeah,
so,
you've got a brain confers on you kind of the power of cognition. It doesn't confer on you the power of concocting evidence. I'm asking where the evidence is. I'm not asking where your brain is or what it does.
Brain, but my brain is able to put two and two together, you see. So that's the thing, you see. That's the difference.
Oh,
but at any rate, I don't want to be nasty. That sounds bad. No. I think we all know what's going on. You know, I know. And we all hope somehow maybe it's not as bad as it really is. I don't know. All I know...
I mean, remember what happened in Ireland all those years ago with the abuse cases, like crazy shit?
Is that at the present time, England's having a hard time. There are 3,000 people in prison there that have been put into cells that have been vacated by real criminals who've been put back on the streets. I mean, this is crazy. And Tommy Robinson, who's all he's ever done is try to point out what's going on. He's sitting in a solitary confinement. I mean, I said to people the other day...
But it's not the only thing he's ever done. I mean, he's got a very violent criminal record.
But it's rubbish. It's rubbish.
Well, that's a statement of fact again.
I've committed, what do you call it? Contempt of
violent
court
crimes,
myself.
I said.
I've committed contempt of court. And when I was told that I hadn't turned up, I didn't even realize I hadn't turned up. I just went and apologized. But at any rate, I didn't get 18 months of solitary confinement. But at any rate, if you look at history, if you're a student of history, then you'll be able to realize that Tommy Robinson is very likely a future Prime Minister of England.
Right.
If you look at history, just like Michael Collins, just like your...
Don't know what I describe Michael Collins in the same sentence as Tommy Robinson. I would not say that. I don't agree with anything Tommy Robinson says. Like, the dude is a bit of a clown. Should he be in jail for contempt of court? I don't know. I haven't really looked into it too much, but one of the comments said that he put some guy in jail illegally or something like that. So
Eamon de Valera and so on. They were all at one time criminals who became leaders in their country. You understand?
When it comes to Irish politics, before I let you go, Errol, I mean, do you know what Elon thinks of the country? What he thinks of Ireland? I don't. You've been to Ireland with him, is that right?
Oh yes. No. This is what we think of Ireland. If we could, and we had the time, we would go to the bluegrass country that I've seen there, and we would have a horse training facility where we would never leave, and we would be there every day, 24 hours a day for the whole year, every year. It's so nice. That's what we would do.
Horse training facility? What the hell does that mean?
So we've been to Ireland many times. We've been right around Ireland. I've been to all the places that you can go as a tourist. Well, I suppose as a tourist, but even a bit more than that. I've been to Monkstown. I've been in the pubs with all the guys. I know the places.
Shout out to Monkstown.
Ireland is fabulous. And the Irish people are among the nicest people I've ever met in my life. And I have so many friends from them. So Ireland appointed me, because of my connections with Ireland, to put in the radio in South Africa, in Lesotho, to broadcast anti-apartheid propaganda back in 1982.
Wow.
Ireland, the government of Ireland appointed me to be the local representative. That's how close I was with Ireland.
Wow.
To do the local consulting engineering, I mean. But at any rate, Ireland is a place we love. And, everybody loves Ireland. It's not like this. It's actually one of those lucky countries, you know?
Well, I hope I haven't dissuaded you of that. Errol, listen, thanks a million for speaking to us.
Okay, bye.
That was a shit show, guys. Anyway, I don't know too much about all that, but one day I will sit down and watch the Mike Collins movie. That movie's incredible. That's like the best movie I've ever watched in my life. And I wonder, is it copyright? I have to check out if it's copyright, because if it is copyright, we're not allowed to watch it, guys. We'll just check now. Is this copyright? Because I would actually love to watch it here, because I do want to react to this album, guys. I have to react to this album. I didn't know that it was out yet. Check movie. Is this YouTube? Is this YouTube monetized? I do have to react to an album. I won't live stream the reaction, actually. I'm just gonna do it just on my thing. I'm fired up for that. I didn't know it was out yet. Oh, that's gonna be fire. But yeah, guys, let me know what you thought about that. Like Errol Musk, I've never heard him speak ever. I've never heard him speak ever on camera, so it's interesting to see that. But yeah, man, like, there's a couple of crazy things they said there. You know, basically England has a problem with like abuse and shit like that. You know, Ireland, you know, is kind of now, you know, working its way towards, you know, I know it's the home of X, previously known as Twitter, of course. It's the home of X, and I think Elon Musk has his base here, and you know, he wants to be now part of the American government. It's just a whole crazy scenario, you know what I mean? But I suppose money kind of eventually outweighs everything, right? Money, if you have all the money in the world, you know, you can pretty much become the next, you know, whatever. So yeah, it's unbelievable to see, guys. This is taking a long time. I think I'm still online though. Yeah, I think I'm still streaming. But absolutely crazy. Let me know your thoughts on that. I think a lot of people are interested to hear about what his dad has to say, because obviously his dad is pretty close to him. You know, I think he still lives in South Africa, but obviously, you know, very in touch with his policies and what they're doing in the government, the American government. So Kieran Cuddihy, I still think, bro, is just like a propaganda machine, man. Like nobody in this country that wants to get ahead will ever get ahead with people like these guys in the mainstream media. Like, we need people that actually help out younger people, like artists, for instance. You know, I love the music out of this country. Like, we need to start helping each other, but from a mainstream perspective. They just help people that they want to help. You know what I mean? It's bullshit, guys. They should be helping everyone, type of thing. But anyways, guys, camera's getting all messed up. I love you guys.